In July 2003, a quiet villa in Mosul became the site of one of the most intense manhunts in modern military history. Inside, two of Iraq's most wanted fugitives were about to face their final hours. What happened next would mark the end of a dynasty and change the course of the Iraq War forever. Following the fall of Baghdad in April 2003, Uday and Qusay Hussein, Saddam's notorious sons, vanished without a trace. For months, American forces scoured Iraq searching for these high-value targets, offering a combined bounty of $30 million for their capture. Today, we'll examine the events that led to their discovery, the 6-hour battle that ensued, and how their deaths marked a pivotal moment in Iraq's transition from dictatorship to democracy. After the collapse of Saddam's government, American forces faced a critical challenge: locating the key figures who had maintained the regime's power structure. To assist troops in identifying these individuals, the military created an innovative tool, a deck of playing cards featuring Iraq's most wanted. Saddam himself was the ace of spades, while his sons occupied equally prominent positions. Uday as the ace of hearts and Qusay as the ace of clubs. The significance of capturing these men extended far beyond symbolic victory. Uday had controlled Iraq's media and sports organizations, using his positions to maintain regime loyalty through fear and intimidation. Qusay, meanwhile, had overseen the country's intelligence services and elite military units, making him instrumental in suppressing internal dissent. The $15 million bounty placed on each brother represented one of the largest rewards in military history, reflecting their importance to the regime's survival and the coalition's determination to dismantle Saddam's power structure completely. Understanding the Hussein brothers requires examining their distinct yet complementary roles within their father's regime. Uday, born in 1964, was initially positioned as Saddam's heir apparent. However, his unpredictable behavior and public controversies gradually diminished his standing within the regime's hierarchy. Despite these setbacks, Uday retained significant influence through his control of Iraq's Olympic Committee and various media outlets. His management style was characterized by extreme disciplinary measures that violated international standards for athlete treatment and press freedom. Qusay, born 2 years later, pursued a different path to power. Rather than seeking public attention, he focused on building influence within Iraq's security apparatus. By the 1990s, he had assumed control of multiple intelligence agencies and elite military units, including the Republican Guard. During the 1991 uprisings that followed the Gulf War, Qusay demonstrated his strategic importance by coordinating the government's response. His effectiveness in these operations solidified his position as Saddam's likely successor, making him perhaps the more dangerous of the two brothers from a strategic perspective. Following Baghdad's fall, the brothers initially attempted to flee to Syria, but were turned back at the border. Forced to remain in Iraq, they sought refuge among loyalist networks in northern cities, where support for the former regime remained strong. Mosul proved to be their final sanctuary. The city's demographics and political leanings made it an ideal hiding place, with numerous residents maintaining sympathy for the Ba'ath Party and opposition to the American occupation. The brothers eventually found shelter in the villa of Nawaf al-Zaidan, a businessman with documented connections to Saddam's inner circle. The 3-story residence in the Al-Falah neighborhood appeared unremarkable from the outside, a deliberate choice that allowed them to blend into the surrounding community. Qusay had also brought his 14-year-old son, Mustafa, adding a tragic dimension to their situation. The presence of a child would later complicate both the military operation and its aftermath. On July 22, 2003, American forces moved to verify the intelligence they had received. The operation involved elite units from Task Force 20, supported by the 101st Airborne Division, demonstrating the military's commitment to capturing these high-value targets. At approximately 10 a.m., troops surrounded the villa and established a secure perimeter. Following standard protocol, they used loudspeakers to demand surrender, offering safe treatment in exchange for peaceful compliance. The response came in the form of automatic weapons fire from the upper floors. The brothers had chosen to resist, transforming what could have been an arrest into an extended firefight. American forces found themselves facing determined opposition from well-positioned defenders who demonstrated considerable tactical knowledge. The brothers utilized the villa's architecture effectively, using elevation and interior walls to maintain their defensive position. As the battle intensified, it became clear that conventional small arms would not be sufficient to resolve the situation. After approximately 1 hour of sustained combat, military commanders authorized the use of helicopter-mounted missiles to end the standoff. 2 Hellfire missiles were fired at the villa, causing significant structural damage. However, resistance continued even after these strikes, indicating the defenders' determination to fight to the end. The battle lasted approximately 6 hours, making it one of the longest single engagements American forces had experienced since the invasion began. 4 American soldiers were wounded during the operation, though none fatally. When American troops finally entered the damaged villa, they discovered 4 bodies: 2 adult males, 1 teenager, and 1 additional man believed to be a bodyguard. All had been killed during the firefight. The identification process required extensive forensic analysis. Military intelligence teams used dental records, medical files, and documented injuries to confirm the identities. Uday's previous leg injuries from a 1996 assassination attempt provided particularly clear identification markers. On July 24th, military officials announced the confirmed deaths of both brothers and released photographs as proof. This decision sparked considerable debate about the appropriateness of displaying such images, but officials deemed it necessary to prevent conspiracy theories and demonstrate the regime's continued collapse. The reaction across Iraq was immediate and varied. In areas where anti-Saddam sentiment was strong, celebrations erupted in the streets. However, in regions with continued regime loyalty, the news was met with disbelief and anger. The deaths of Uday and Qusay Hussein marked a crucial turning point in the Iraq War, demonstrating that even the most protected members of Saddam's regime could not escape justice. Their elimination removed 2 key figures who had been instrumental in maintaining the dictatorship's control through fear and violence. While their deaths represented a significant victory for coalition forces, the broader conflict in Iraq continued for years afterward. Nevertheless, for many Iraqis who had suffered under the regime's oppression, July 22, 2003, marked the beginning of the end of an era defined by brutality and fear. What aspects of this historical event do you find most significant? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about this period in Middle Eastern history, make sure to subscribe for our upcoming video on the capture of Saddam Hussein himself. Wishing peace and tranquility for all people around the world. Until the next video, farewell.